funny thing is because Mike Johnson and Marjorie Taylor Greene is about to save us from this World War III bill, apparently, Democrats are furious. And I don't have time, fam, to show you guys all the shit I've seen. Like, it's been blowing my mind, Ajamu, that the bill that we just completely dismantled, liberals are furious that it's not passing. Why? Because Ukraine. Because of Putin derangement syndrome. Liberals have Putin derangement syndrome so much that they are willing to allow more Palestinians to die so more Ukrainians can die. There's no words to describe what's going on. So Nancy Pelosi was addressed or confronted with the fact that Mike Johnson's going to block this bill. And look what she said. I don't want to spoil it. This shit is gold, man. This shit is crazy what she implied.
The Speaker Johnson has said he will not bring it up.
Our leader, Hakeem Jeffries, said that he has not ruled out using a discharge petition, which is a parliamentary maneuver to try to bring a bill to the floor, and also to just see where all of the Republicans are on this, because
Bro, what? Nancy Pelosi, my friends and family, said that Democrats plan to force a vote on World War III funding. Do you guys understand? She wants to force a vote on this bill to show people where people stand on war. You know the strategy that activists and Jimmy Dore and other was demonized when we said we should force the vote on healthcare. You have Democrats that want to force the vote on funding Nazis in Ukraine, that want to force the vote on bombing Palestinian children. And Nancy Pelosi, this is not going to go the way you think it would go if this happens. Because of Ajamu, my friends, my family, Democrats, 50% of Joe Biden voters believe that Israel is committing a genocide against the Palestinians. So, Ajamu, how is it a good strategy for you to force the vote and get Democrats on the record on which ones support Israel when 50% of your base believe Israel is committing a genocide? What a big brain Nancy Pelosi has on her.
Well, I mean, look, but it's not Nancy necessarily. She said their leader, Hakeem, the Dream, the white folks' dream, Jeffries.
Good point.
That basically he's the one going to push this. And you're absolutely right. These folks are delusional, and we have to make sure that they pay a political price. And that's why it's so unfortunate that at this political moment we don't have a more effective ability to make them pay a price politically. They adroitly use this Trump fear to keep people herded into the Democrat Party, where this should be a breakout election, where both on the national, state, and local level, there should be an alternative party or parties that take advantage of the inability of the ruling class to rule in the same way, and to begin to develop a critical mass at every level of government of progressives and radicals in the electoral process, and try to occupy these spaces for as long as we can. And I say for as long as we can because it's quite clear that they are progressively shutting down and shutting out all of the progressives and all of the potential radicals that may participate in their system. They're going to shut that down eventually, and it will be a straight up, obvious capitalist dictatorship. It's already a dictatorship, but it's dressed up. But they are clearly committed to maintaining their class rule, even if they are exposed in the process.
Yeah, the last thing I'm gonna ask you before we wrap the stream up is about Jill Stein and the Green Party. But I'm gonna play this clip. This near the end of this segment. I won't play the clip all the way through. I had to pause it there because this clip is so funny to me, man. That's Nancy Pelosi endorsing the strategy of force to vote, but for war. And I really hope she's successful. I really do. Show the Biden voters, the 50% who believe there's genocide, that their party is unapologetically supporting that. Show the American people that they're down to spend $95 billion on foreign country as workers continue to struggle in this country. Go ahead and continue to help me radicalize our populace more. You guys are making my job easy. I'm going to play the clip all the way through, and I have one more thing to ask you.
The Speaker Johnson has said he will not bring it up.
our leader, Hakeem Jeffries said that he has not ruled out using a discharge petition, which is a parliamentary maneuver to try to bring a bill to the floor, and also to just see where all of the Republicans are on this, because we've had over 300 votes for assistance to Ukraine, but strong bipartisan support for that in the Congress. So this isn't a partisan issue in most respects, but it is. You saw the other day they brought up two bills they didn't have the votes for.
What do you think
Come
of Speaker
on.
Johnson?
So I don't want you guys to ever think, and they pretend that they're so smug, and they believe they're so superior to us. This is a fact that I bring up all the time. I don't know why people don't bring it up enough. You got Putin with an 80% approval rating. You have the Chinese Communist Party, beloved around by 70 to 80% of the people in China. Meanwhile, in America, you have a Congress that got a job approval rating of 13%. Can you imagine if you was a cashier and you only had a 13% customer satisfaction rate? You guys know I used to sell cars. We used to have these surveys that came in, which is why I was so good at selling cars. I used to get like 90, 100%, right? They consider anything lower at Toyota and Honda. If you got anything lower than 95% at Toyota, I mentioned one policy in particular. If you score lower than 90% on your QA, on your questionnaire form, they would cut the amount of money they pay you out in a car sales. Like, it's serious. And if you get under 80% 3 times at one of the jobs I worked at, they will fire you. That grounds for termination. If you get less than 80%, you guys see how workers are expected to be flawless at their jobs. People get upset if someone get your order wrong. Meanwhile, Congress, 13%. Can't pass shit, not doing shit for the American people, but they still believe they are smugly superior to you and shouldn't listen to your criticisms. That's my last thought on this topic. John, I'll give you last thought on this. I got one more question before you wrap up. I want your general thoughts on this bill, Congress approval rating, and what you're seeing from Nancy Pelosi. I'll give you last thoughts on the topic.
Basically, I think that the 13% is probably high. I mean, the fact of the matter. The fact of the matter now is that there is a crisis of legitimacy in the U.S., that there's no real respect for U.S. institutions, and the Democrats continue to play games that will continue to erode confidence in U.S. institutions. It's clear that the American people, both Democrats and Republicans, believe that the Democrats weaponized the legal apparatus to go after Trump. And if these folks think that they're going to push Trump off the ballot and have an election that's going to be seen as legitimate, they are really deeply delusional. So this crisis of legitimacy is only going to continue to deepen. And that's why, and I think I said it on this program before, I really believe that depending on what happens in November, there's a real possibility that this artificial state called the United States of America will begin to spin apart in 2025. And the Democrats will have no one else to blame but themselves. So this is a very dangerous moment. The Democrats are unable to provide any kind of alternative. And, you know, if there was a possibility of some kind of left unity process, people should maybe look at that. But I don't even know about that, Nick.